My name is Bobo, and I'm in the 2RC production studio, and where I am going to introduce Rich from 2RC Productions. He is going to do a custom van build for Josh Hanna from MidlifeR. Please stay tuned for Rich from 2RC Productions.
Hey, thanks, Bobo. It was a very nice introduction there. Rich here from 2RC Productions, and we got a real special deal here. I got all these parts. I picked up all these parts right here. I'm going to show you these two parts right here. This is the glow plug for the Nitro Traxxas Nitro Rustler. And they have nothing to do with this build, but I'm just going to show them to you anyway because I want to show them to you anyway. Josh Hanna was nice enough to send 2RC Productions a prototype light with our logo on there. You guys might have seen this before, which was very awesome. And then before that, Josh Hanna sent me the Dodge Raminator Lozy. And I thought, I can't let these nice gestures go unnoticed. So I had to do something for this guy, and I wanted to do something special for him. And I ordered these parts. He had talked about a van, that he liked the look of the A-Team van, and the custom van would be cool. He was showing me some pictures. We were just talking. Gave me a link on one of the YouTube channels, and he was showing me the van. And I did a lot of searching around for different vans, and I couldn't really find what I wanted. And I wanted to have a hard body. I wanted to have the ABS because it's way easier to work with from the outside, and they look so much more realistic. And for what I'm doing, this custom build, I can't use polycarbonate. So what I ended up doing was I ordered one Lunchbox body and another Lunchbox body, which makes two Lunchbox bodies. And you're asking me, Rich, why in the heck would you buy two Lunchbox bodies? Why would you buy two Lunchbox bodies? What would you do with this? And the reason is that I am going to cut both of these bodies. And I am going to make a stretch Lunchbox A-Team paint scheme van for Josh Hanna for his Trail Finder 2. I am going to splice these together. I have never done a project like this. I don't even know how I'm going to splice them together. I have some ideas, and I will work it out, because I always do. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But this is going to be a van that will stretch to the wheelbase of the Trail Finder 2. I ordered the bumper kit and Nerf bars, because the Nerf bars with the side pipes, rear bumper, this comes in a kit, so I had to order that separately. And then I had to order two windshield kits. I'm not sure how it's going to work out yet, but I might have a double roof vent, which means I would need two of the roof vents. So I ordered two of the windshield kits, right? And then I still have to get the colors. But I am going to start the custom van body build right here for Josh Hanna from MidlifeR. And I want to thank all my supporters. I want to thank all my YouTube supporters, our Google Plus family, everybody in the RC community for the tremendous support of our channel. Our numbers are growing, and I'm just having a blast. Richie and Ryan are having a blast. So I am going to do a step-by-step video doing this build through the phases. And when I get it all done, I'm going to put a couple LEDs in there in the headlights and get it all painted up and get it stretched and put back together and sanded and molded, and it's going to be awesome when I'm done with it. And when I get it all done, I'm going to package this guy up here, and I'm going to send it to Josh Hanna from MidlifeR, and I hope to see it on his Trail Finder 2 someday. Alright, so the next part of this video will be starting on the custom build. Alright, YouTubers, got everything unwrapped, laid the lines out. I got my 12-inch centers on my wheelbase. And then I took a cutoff wheel and sliced that thing right down, and here's the two oddball pieces. I got these extra pieces there. Maybe I would make like a little minivan or something. A minivan, get it? Minivan. So anyway, I got these two pieces put together here, and I didn't file them, I didn't sand them, I didn't do nothing. I just cut them, and then I kind of took took the melted burr off, and that's it. But this is to give you an idea how this is going to look, how stretched this is going to be. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be like a giant stretch limousine, A-Team, Trailfinder 2 monster van. So it's going to be pretty cool. So that's the next phase, and then obviously the hard part is going to be seaming this thing together and getting it all sanded so you can't tell. And then after we do that and get it all secure, then I'll start laying out the paint. Alright, YouTubers. Alright, what I was doing was working on the body itself, getting it fine fitted, nice and tight. Basically take a file, kind of went over all the edges to get the burr off to make sure there's no burr on either side. And then I sanded it with the file, or filed it down to make sure it was even and a good match with the other body. There's a couple spots that got a little bit of a gap, but it's not a problem, because then when I fill it, I'm gonna be filling it with epoxy. I got a 2-part epoxy plastic welder. It's called 2-part epoxy. And I think I'm gonna take some plastic strips and kind of back it up on the inside. It says it's 3,500 pounds PSI holding strength, which I don't believe that. Remember the old commercial with the dude with the crazy glue, where he put the crazy glue on the top of his hard hat and he hung off the steel beam? Nobody was buying that. I wasn't buying it. So they always say it's way more than it is, but in reality this is just a light plastic body, and I want to have it enough rigidity that if Josh goes to, you know, flip it over or something, it's not going to snap in half, but it doesn't have to be ridiculous. It is just light plastic. So that's what we got. Basically that's fitted up there, and I got a pretty nice seam. And then after I filed it, you get that fine powder dust all over it. So I took it upstairs and washed it out thoroughly, and then I dried it off. And now what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cut some strips, figure out how I'm going to set this up, get it all clamped in position, and then I'm going to put some epoxy on the inside and get this thing to set up. And it says setup time is about 24 hours. And then I'll make sure that it's good. Maybe I'll add some more stiffeners to the inside once it's set. And then I can get the body filler, and then I got to fill this seam on the outside, and I'm going to have to sand this carefully in between all these lines to make sure that it's as good as it can possibly be, you know, so you don't see a line there when the paint is put on, because the paint will show up everything. If there's a big, you know, low spot, high spot, you will see that. So, all right, get on to the next phase. All right, I just mixed up the epoxy, and I taped the body all up in a series of spots, as you can see, to make sure the body line was where I wanted it to be. And then I applied the epoxy to the inside all the way around and squished it through the crack to make sure that there was full penetration. And I'm kind of just lining up the body. The body line looks really, really good, and it's already setting up. I put it on about maybe 6-8 minutes ago. You can see I got it taped up all the way down to hold the body line in place, and then I epoxied it, and now it takes about 24-hour full cure time. So basically I'm going to come back and check it a little bit and just make sure that everything's lined up, but I think that's pretty much it. It's been about 10 minutes. It's nice and solid, and the smell from this stuff is horrendous. I'm starting to get high over here, so I am going to get out of this room for a while and let this ventilate, and we'll check back in a while. The next step I just did here was contour putty. Tester's contour putty. You can see that there, and you use that to fill in cracks and voids and so on. So I did some initial sanding on this thing here, because the top here, it dipped a little bit at the top when it was dry, and it dipped a tiny bit. So I sanded and feathered that in, and then I put the contour putty in there, and you can see you just basically load that in there in the crack, and you dab it on with your hand, you let it dry. And then after you do that, you start sanding, and I filled in the holes on the bottom where the side pipes would go, because they're stretched, so there's extra holes obviously. And then what you got to do is you sand it, and then you might have to apply some more, let it dry, sand it, put some more, let it dry, till you get it as close as possible. So we got some work ahead of us there. And then also what I did was I unpackaged they got the other kits here, the bumpers and that, and I unpackaged the roof vents and the windshield, and I sprayed them from the inside flat black, so you can see it'll be all black windshield and black roof vents when it's done, like I did on my Lunchbox. So just wanted to show you that up to this point. Now I'm going to work it with the rough sandpaper, and then I got 2 types of fine sandpaper here that I'm going to work this out, add a little more. And this is a very tedious process, and it might take a period of over a week or so, letting it dry and sanding it, letting it dry and sanding it, and then I'm going to put the base coat on, and then you get to see what it looks like with the paint on. And then once you see what it looks like, you might have to add a little more and sand a little more. But once we get through this, then the next step will be the base coat, and then I'll start laying the striping out.